Gonna make the profiles boom, 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 boom. What they is, I'm gonna tell you what it is today on Gunner's Profiles. What it is real life, real talk by a real one. Vivo los tres animales. Orale, you see the paisitas right there. We're about to get into it. And what it ain't is added preservatives, fake bullshit, fake stories, man. We're talking real here. The realness, the illest, the realest, the dillest, the killest, that you already know what it is. Bang, bang. As you can tell by that thumbnail, the paisitas, the paisas. Orale, mi compita. Versus the norte, right? How long it's been going on, to what degree of it's been going on. ¿Sabes qué? Let's style and profile it right now. It's been cracking. You know, it's been cracking since the early 80s. And I got a lot of respects, first and foremost, for my Mexicano nationals, right? For my Mexicano people, the fever, the flavor is real. Indubitably in a menudo style, in a direct fashion, man. I've always had a lot of love for the gente, for the paisas, right? Now, let's get this right off the motherfucking way, because people say, well, why you call us paisas? ¿Qué pasó, pinche gunner? Right? That's disrespect. Charlie Holmes. Paisa meaning paisano, meaning coming from the same area, the same town, the same fucking pueblo, the same fucking vida. Órale. It's actually not a derogatory word or a bad word, man, when talking about Mexican nationals, the Mexicanos. It's just what it is, man. It's the paisas. Órale. And shout out some respect. Let's get that out the way right from the beginning. Now, trip out. The Norte and the paisas have been at war in Northern California for a long time. To what degree of war? A different type of degree. Not a war where it's to the death. Órale, stick them, right? None of that. But there have been many of instances where Vatos found themselves on the short end of the stick, vice and versa, meaning tit for tat. Paisas ain't no punks, homes. They'll handle their business in a Vicente Fernandez fashion. Straight up con un pinche charro and let's go, right? So trip out. I remember in the 90s growing up, the paisas were getting deeper and deeper in town. In Merced, throughout the Central Valle. Why? Because a lot of them were migrant workers, man, that went with the camps, right? Wherever the fucking picking was good, vámonos. They were about their money, right? Paisa people, the gente, have always been the hardest workers traditionally, period, plain simple. Deny it. Deny it, ese. You can't deny it, man. Orale, Home Depot, stand up. The gente, man, are hard workers. And that's the tradition of Mexican people. Some of the hardest working people you'll ever see in your life. Sasuke, they're just trying to do their pinche jale, their pinche job. They just want to come over and do their thing, man. They're trying to slide in, dip in, get that motherfucking feria, go back to Mexico con un pinche rancho and a mamon. And the winners are, right? And that's all they're trying to do. But in the early 90s, man, a lot of people used to fuck with the paisas. Yes, they were looked down upon because people looked at them as dirty or one thing or another. But Sasuke, I never looked at them like that. I wasn't laced that way. You know, I come from a traditional family. A lot of Mexicano influence. Sasuke, when you walk in, there's the calendar con un fucking hyena laying like this and un Indio holding her. And Sasuke, you see it, right? The shit don't stop with me. I've always had a lot of love for the traditions, for the cultura of the Mexican flavor. We all are derived, if you're Chicano, Latino, whatever, from the Mexicano culture for the most part, right? Not everyone. I know there's going to be some fucking critical motherfuckers that are going to be in the DMs talking about, well, not if you're not Mexican, you're not, well, spansa la tira, right? I'm talking to the Mexicanos right now. Alright. So, I remember back in the days, the paisas were getting deeper in Merced and throughout the Central Valle, and the norteños were already established. So there was a lot of tripping going on. There was a lot of tripping because a lot of the norteños that I was involved with or that I was around always considered the paisas two things. One, either undercover Southsiders, because there was a lot of them doing that, right? Or two, fucking victims, right? Why would you victimize your own people? I can't call it like an alcoholic. Even nowadays, when people are hitting the fucking paleta man and shit, and I don't fucking agree with it, that's just the way it was up in Norte Califas. Now, I can't talk about the sur. I don't know how it was going on in Southern California. I know a lot of the Southsiders, they were second generation. Their familias were straight derived from Mexico. So they got a lot of familia that was basically of Mexican descent. Straight paisas out there working the field. A lot of the tío. ¿Qué pasó? Shit, trabajando nada más, right? They were just fucking working. Period, plain and simple. Con un burrito de chorizo con papa. Vámonos to the fields, right? They're making their fucking feria. That's it. You can't hate on the next man trying to get that bag in a lawful way. Or however they're going to get it. Anyways, up north, things were different. It was very highly gang orientated. There was a lot of gang banging going on at this time. And there was a lot of fucking vatos trying to establish neighborhoods, okay? Southsiders included. So when the Southsiders first started to evolve and start to establish in Northern California, a lot of them were paisas. Okay, they were paisas that felt ridiculed, felt picked on, felt hated on, felt some type of way about the norteños, the Chicanos from up north. Now you got to understand, the Norte cause wasn't just Chicanos. There was a little bit of everything. So Simon, the wind was blowing. There was a little bit of everything. There was a lot of paisas involved in the Norte cause as well. It wasn't basically, Sasuke, you're over there, we're over here. Nah, it was where you grew up. You're a product of your environment. What you bang is what you bang. Sasuke, if you grew up in the Norte neighborhood, more than likely, Sasuke, you were going to be a norteño, right? Same thing went for down south. If you grew up in Southern California where you already knew what you had coming. But there were some paisas that were just doing the paisa thing. They weren't involved in the politics. They weren't involved in gangs. They were just trying to make $1 out of fucking 15 cents. They were just trying to go out there, hustle for their familia, hustle for their people, and get on down the yellow brick road. So, okay, vámonos yellow brick road. Vámonos yellow brick road. Right? They were just trying to vámonos on down the yellow brick road and get their rancho, like I said. But you had a lot of paisas that were in Merced at this time. And a lot of the norteños, myself included, I got to admit it, you know what I mean? I can't lie. We were doing bad things to the paisas. Why? Because like I said, we looked at them as either victims or undercover Southsiders. Now, and I'm not here to belittle anyone. This is just our mentality at the time. This is the way we were thinking. This is the way the Norte was thinking a lot, right? Because there was a lot of instances where you'd run up on some paisas. Hey, where you about to throw, mister? ¿Sabes qué? Órale. Right? And they'd be like, me no bang. Yo soy paisa, right? And for the most part, we let it, all right, cool. You know what I mean? You're a paisa, you're just doing your thing. Órale, viva Mexico. We let them do their thing. Then later on, they turn around and hey, pinche güero, babosa pocho. Puro 18th Street, right? What the fuck did you just say, right? We were tripping because there was many instances, and all the way from the Bay Area on back to the Valle, where a lot of these vatos started to establish under the guise of being a paisa. Now, to me, that was just the art of war. That was a good tactic. It's like, okay, this is what we're, this is what we're going to do. When we see these vatos, we're going to tell them we're just paisas. Don't even trip, Holmes. Then later on, it's said when they're not looking, we're going to choke them, right? Straight up. They had their thing going on. Of course, our antennas were up, but not up enough because we were getting played like motherfucking Nintendo. Orale, Mike Tyson's Punch Out Tiger. We were getting played. We weren't paying attention to what was really going on, which was the establishment of the Sur up north. Yes, I'm talking about the upstaters. When it comes to down south, they've been doing that Sureño thing for a long time. So, okay, let them do their thing. You can't stop it. Why try, right? But up north was different. Up north, homeboys started to catch on. Norteños started to catch on. Charlie, every time we hit the vatos up, they're talking about their paisas, but their blue belts, the blue penitents, the bald heads, the big old LA with Sud. I missed that one. I'm sure you did, puto, right? Eventually, we started to become aware. Awareness was key. We started to become aware, and there started to become friction with actual paisas that were just working and doing their own pinchy thing, right? There started to become friction because Norteños started to assume. And assume is a big word that every paisa they ran into was a Southsider. Now you got to understand at this time the war was on. Guerra was real. This is the 90s. Motherfuckers were hitting each other left and right, especially up north. I know down south was a lot different. You had guerra, but you had guerra mostly with the Africano community as well as within different barrios fucking getting at each other in a motherfucking real fashion, right? But up north was different. There was a lot of red on red going on, but more so than anything, there was north and south hitting the area because the Sureños were establishing up north. So let's get to what degree of establishing? The real degree, right? The highest degree they established. They took over cities like Richmond, Atwater, got deep in the city of San Fran, and other fucking towns. Santa Cruz, I remember. We couldn't even go into Santa Cruz. Wasn't nothing but paisas and Southsiders, and the Norteños were like, fuck it, that's what was happening right here. It was an overnight thing, man. They established, and they established to this day. Now, other little cities and other little towns started to have a big influx of paisas. And it seemed like, as a Norteño from the outside looking in, everywhere that you looked, if there was a big paisa community, meaning Mexican nationals, Mexicanos, eventually the Southsiders would set up there for two reasons. I like saying that for two reasons. One reason, they were around gente, raza, their people, right? Two, it was easy to establish under the covers and the guise of just being paisas, you know what I mean? Like I said, it was a strategy, Holmes. They were playing chess, we were playing checkers at that time. But Sasuke, we learned the game fast. And once we started to learn the game, things started to change in Northern California, and you started to have paisas versus Norteños. The reason being wasn't that the Norteños were trying to press up and punk these people, because we're all derived from raza. We're all derived from the Mexicans. We all got love for our people and our cultura for the most part, right? But at the same time, we were tired of being played. Let's just stop playing with our emotions. Let's get, you can play with me, but don't play with my food, bitch, right? Stop playing with my tamale, chale. And that's just how it was. Unless it's a good mamon. Okay, un paisaje, I can tell you guys stories, and I will right now. Anyways, so the war started to become real. It started to become where you didn't even hit vatos up anymore. You just got off where you were mad at. If you ran into a group of paisas, you automatically assumed that they were gangbanging, and the shit got real. But the paisas fought back. Orale. Yes, they did. Indubitably. Un cuerno de chivo, gold color. They were fucking getting off. Homes, the higher the socks, them downer them fools were. You know, because they got tired of being what they felt was persecuted and picked on and inflicted with punishment and pain, to which they felt a lot of that, right? Do I see it as a good thing? Charlie Holmes, I'm just telling the history of Northern California and keeping it real. Now, not every city was the same. I can only speak on the Valle. Being a Vallero, I can only speak on what was going on in the 209 area. But it was pretty much going on in most cities in Northern California where vatos were establishing for the Sur under the name of Paisa, right? And I know a lot of vatos are going to feel some type of way. Charlie, we were fucking here. That's it from day one. I'm going to beg to differ on that one. Just because being a norteño at that time, an active man, I knew what it was. Now, I ain't mad. I ain't hating. Do what you got to do. I say, I'm married into a norteño. Hey, where you from, Holmes? Yo soy paisa. Yeah, what's that? What's that XIV on your face? No, because 14 days ago, I got... Look, call it what you want. At the end of the day, stop using the Mexicano people as a motherfucking blanket or as a shield, Holmes, to block what's coming, which are balas, right? You got them motherfuckers coming. Take them like a man says, can push if you can, or have someone push you if they can. That's just what it is. Because at the end of the day, man, it was an ugly situation to involve the Mexicano people that were just trying to work and get on by, you know, with all this gang related activities. But the paisas started to establish. You started to have groups of paisas that we're not gonna take it. It's porque we won't pinche take it. Oh, they twisted sister. They weren't gonna take it no more. They started to bite back and fight back. Okay, that's just how it was in Northern California, man. Up north, so everybody can get it. Everybody had a little bit of thug in them, like fucking Pac said. Motherfuckers up there weren't playing. You know, if you wanted to look at someone some type of way, they were going to look back, you see. Believe me. So the Paisa carro versus the Norte carro did get heated in the 90s. Now, it started to phase out after a while because that's when upstate Sureños started to come out and say, you know what, fuck it, Holmes. La Primera lives. Fuck the world, Norte, right? They were letting everyone know that they were now upstate Southsiders and they had their own carros, their own foundation, their own barrios. But you have to understand in the beginning, and I can't deny it. Orally, you can't deny it. That a lot of the vatos came from Paisa families. Now, I heard a spiel that Flaco from Real Talk with Flaco in a Converse Perspective did a while back with the vato Güero from Sanjo, where he admitted that he was just a Paisa trying to get by and do his familia thing, and he felt persecuted and picked on by the Norteños, and eventually they banded together for power so that they could fight the oppression that they were going through. Every group is founded on oppression. Every different barrio, different hood, different clica, different turf, different village is founded off of the turmoil and the sweat off that one's owns back and persecution or oppression by someone else. So I was like, fuck that, homes. We ain't going out like that. And being the warriors that they are, the Mexicano people, and having that warrior blood, that Azteca, that Inca, that Mayan, that fucking indigenous type blood, they were no punks. There were no suckers. I don't look down upon my people because they're paisas. I look up to my people because I know they're hard workers. They're from the fucking original soil where it was toiled on. They are from Mexico, and I respect it, homes. If you don't, you're in the wrong business. You got to respect your people. The Latino people stand up. Raza way. Now, to say that the fucking history wasn't real, you're lying to yourself. And you're definitely not going to be lying to me. Because I'm going to tell you right now, yes, the Norte and the Paisas were going at it. But there have been some instances where the Paisas have backed the Norte's play and vice versa. I know in my county jail, if you were a Paisa, we didn't automatically, so this is later on. In the beginning, it's like your way to choke your fucking head out. But in the later on in the years, going into county jail, 3-4 black men stand up, active as fuck. If a Paisa slid through and he was like, no, yo soy Paisa, of course, take your shirt off. We need to see if you have any traces on you because it's gonna be bad. We're gonna rip your earlobe off. They were allowed to fucking post up. You know, they were allowed to fucking get shown love. As long as they functioned with the activities, they were allowed to get shown love. That's just what it was. But the Paisas always did their own thing, man. They didn't fuck with no one, so don't fuck with them. That's how they felt for the most part. And you know what? I respect it. Now, going into prison, There's always been this stigma. Oh, what about the paisas? People ask, who do the paisas kick it with? Can you just join the paisa car? Charlie, you can't just join the car. You know a paisa when you see one. Like I said, la piñata, güey. Órale, los ticanes de Tijuana. Vámonos a la verga. You know what I mean? Los tigres del norte. You know what's going on. And they're respected. They're a respected gente. Now, for the most part, 99.9% of the real paisas homes are going to be in the feds because they're making that papel, right? They're making that paper. And you know what they're doing, and I don't like to speak on that group because they use chainsaws and shit. I like my head right here. Anyways, but the paisas that are incarcerated in the California Department of Corrections or other state facilities, they have a nice, cool car. They have a strong clica. Pues having respect, that feels even better. Que no? But they do have a nice carro, right? And they function pretty much alongside the Southsiders. That's just how it's been traditionally everywhere I've been. They rock on the same side of the day room, the same side of the yard, and they function with the Southsiders. Usually if the Southsiders are going to get off, they'll assist them or they won't. It's one or the other, but for the most part, I've seen they do assist. They do the fucking rutina y todo mal. That's just how it is, man. There's more of that Mexican bond there, whereas up north, we're looked at as a little bit different because we function on the yard, the side of the yard with the Africanos and the others, but we're strong clique as well at that time. I'm not acting like I'm still active, but I'm just speaking on it. Orale, and in that fashion. Anyways, I've had a lot of interaction with paisas. I've done a lot of business with them, man, and I can say I respect them to the fullest. I respect my people. Yes, my people. I look at them as my people. I have tios that are straight from Mexico, Zacatecas, and a tío from Juarez that can't speak a lick of English. Mira, pocho, hey, tu pinche babosa, cabrón. You know what I mean? Talking hella shit. And he taught me, I don't speak a lot of Spanish, but I knew this when I go to the taco truck. Yo quiero una pinche caguama de King Cobra y dos tacos de lengua. You know what I mean? Con todo, pero sin cebolla. You know what I mean? I knew enough to order a fucking meal and say, getting a beer. That's it. Vámonos, I'm gone. But we don't sell beer right at the taco truck. Well, you do at the 7-Eleven. That's right behind there. Go get me one. Do I look like a puto to you that's gonna run just because you're Chicano and you tell me to? Charlie Holmes, I'm having flashbacks. Anyways, you got to respect the gente, but yes, the war was going on with the Norte and the Paisas for several years in the 90s, and that wasn't more so because they were Paisa and they were being victimized, because Charlie Holmes, I hate when that stigma goes on to the Norteños, like, oh, you guys were over there punking Paisas and your own people, and you guys are fucking pieces of shit. Nah, it wasn't nothing like that, Holmes. The only reason that motherfuckers were running up on the Paisas is because they automatically assumed that these vatos were undercover Southsiders, because here's a fact. You know what I mean? Don't get mad either. So when I tell you, that's how most vatos were wiggling. So they be in there. They had like 4 homeboys from fucking straight from Mexico, and they be in there like, hey, I'm from San Jose, pero yo soy paisa. Don't tell nobody, right? Until they got deep enough to establish and they come out as an upstate Southsider, then it was what it was. Now, I'm not saying all the upstate Southsiders are paisas, because a lot of them are Chicanos, and it's different nowadays. Shit, I even seen an Africano over there talking about upstate Sur. Orale, do your thing, brother. You know what I mean? I ain't mad at you on Paru. I ain't mad at you. You know what I mean? But at the same time, man, this is just a historia. This is what was happening in the 90s. This is the reason for the Norte versus Paisa war that did happen in the 90s. It's simmered down now. Everybody is what they are. Everybody is out there now. And there's a lot of love for the Mexicanos. The Mexicans get a lot of love, bro. They should, as they should. You know, we're all derived from the gente. Now, I'm going to keep it real. You go to Mexico, they don't like no Chicano. They ain't fucking with you, vatos. Straight up, period. They don't like it. So fuck you have it too easy. That's it. But at the same time, it is what it is, man. We can't let that be a reflection of how we treat people. We got to treat our people the same, right? Good. So, let me tell you about these Mexicanas that I ran into. Okay? Let me tell you about a Paisa chick one time for mine. Ooh, wee! They hit different, right? They just hit different. I want you to try one time. One that will make you a fucking chile relleno in the morning, pozole at night, and a mamon during the afternoon. And the winners are, right? I've ran into a whole bunch of Mexicanas. I do have a baby mama straight from Apaxican, Michoacan. And sabes que, let me tell you, that was some of the best Arby's I ever ate. Bang, bang. And in that fashion. Anyways, with that being said, I just wanted to put it out there about the Paisa and Norte issue. Yes, there was an issue in the 90s. It was really a war, man. But really, how many casualties? Just depending on what city you're in and how the get down was that night. Maybe it was cold that night. I can't call it like an alcoholic, but what I can tell you, man, is it definitely did happen, but it wasn't like you think. It wasn't Norteños oppressing the Mexicano people, man. Sometimes the fucking PAISAS will press up on the norte. Shit. You never knew what the day was going to bring. Anyways, with that being said, just a little story. I hope that you like it. Please hit that like and subscribe. Hit that thumbs up. If not, you can hit that thumbs down. Heavy as the head that wears that crown. I hope that you go out there, you move smooth with a purpose, and you continue to love your gente and remember where you came from. We're all derived from our cultura. Our culture should mean something. Study it, learn it, grasp it, lick it, stick it, hit it, mama. And the winner is our bang, bang, Gunners Profiles. You know what it is.